Welcome to the Guitar Channel. I am super happy to welcome you a new interview in Montreux in Switzerland. I have the one and only Nick Johnston sitting right next to me. Nick, how are you doing?
I'm good. I can't believe I'm back out doing stuff after what feels like 20 year of lockdown. It's great. It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's amazing to be here and amazing to be back doing stuff. Thanks for having me.
It's my pleasure. Is that your very first time in Switzerland?
No, I've been here 4 or 5 times now, I think. Yeah. Never to Montreux, though.
Okay.
And I believe this is also the first year of this show, correct?
Yeah, indeed. It is the first edition of the show, yeah.
So a lot of firsts going on here.
Yeah.
A lot of firsts, good times.
And it is the place where the casino took fire, the Smoke on the Water story. You know that, right?
I don't know if I've heard that song.
Yeah.
What's it called?
Yeah. Smoke on the, I don't know, something like that.
Smoke on the canal.
Yeah, it's never going to work.
Yeah. Fire on the river. I don't know.
All right. Tell me, Nick, what was your very first guitar?
Very first guitar was a 2000 Squire Bullet in Fiesta Red, used
Nice.
for 90 Canadian dollars, which is like €1.
Okay.
And I got a Frontman 15R, had the reverb.
Okay.
It was the little package I got with a little tuner and a cable.
Okay.
I was 14.
So you started on electric guitar at the beginning?
I did. I started electric guitar. I had a neighbor that played, and I used to listen to him through his basement window.
Yeah.
I wasn't stalking him, but I would listen from my front porch, and then eventually I went over and got the courage to say, "Can I come watch?"
Okay.
And then I was bitten by the bug pretty early on after I saw somebody actually playing guitar in front of me.
And who would you say are your main influences regarding guitar or music in general?
Guitar players I always loved growing up. I loved Eddie Van Halen and Stevie Ray Vaughan. The music I listened to, all the Zeppelin, Deep Purple, all the, Sabbath, Yngwie, Satriani, the usual suspects.
Yeah, okay.
The guys,
Yeah.
the pantheon of rock, basically. Yeah. So.
And what was your training and the main steps, on how you became the musician you are at the moment?
Basically, the training I had was closing the bedroom door and sitting for 8 hours a day.
Okay. It works? Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Maybe. I hope. I didn't really have any money to take lessons or go to school. I had a crippling fear of playing in front of anybody for a long time, and the insecurity a small town kid has of performing live.
Okay.
And then just over time, getting better and kind of out of my shell. And then I learned theory on my own later, and just kind of figured it out.
Okay. So
by
mostly
making bad
self-taught.
decisions. Yeah, all self-taught. Self-taught. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So tomorrow you're going to give a masterclass here. What is your approach to transmit your knowledge?
Well, I've been doing besides the break with the pandemic, I've been doing the clinic kind of thing for maybe 6 or 7 years, and it's always different. There's never sort of a set way to do it. I've seen people give out handouts, and here's what we're going to talk about. I like to just go up and just talk to the crowd, and I play music, and I just improvise a little bit, and if anybody has any questions, I just try, veer down a road, and hopefully not a bumpy road, and then just play and say thank you.
Is there some word of wisdom you keep repeating over and over and saying, okay, this is the message, this is what you should focus on?
I mean, there's tons of things, but I just kind of boil it all down to it really is just about trying to enjoy the process, and it's okay to fail. And my true love with music is writing music, and just my ear changing and kind of following my heart, so to speak, with music, and I think it's really important to just sometimes look inside and just try to become a unique voice on the instrument, and take your time. It's a long game. It's all a long game. I've been doing this for 20 years. I'm just getting started.
Okay.
Well,
it's a good start, huh?
Thank you.
Let's talk about Young Language, which was released last year.
Yeah.
Was it a pandemic album?
Some of the songs were. I think it had. Well, the way I usually kind of roll out the albums is I've never really done writing, so I finish an album, and usually I have time for the production over the course of 6 months. And in that time, I'm writing the next one.
Okay.
So I recorded it during the pandemic, but I wrote it just before.
Okay.
So, but I've written 3 other ones since then. So
Okay.
there's lots of pandemic music. I hate to call it a pandemic album, but I guess it is. Yeah.
There is a very cinematographic quality to your music. I'm not sure if it's that a word, but
Yeah.
we can totally listen to your music and see some picture, and you can say, "Oh, see, I can hear this music in a movie." Is that conscious influence on what you and how to on how you write music?
Yeah, again, just coming back to finding your own voice and just not being afraid to fail or try things. The whole thing with me with instrumental music is because there's no words and there's no description.
Yeah.
I find it can be very easy to fall into a trap of playing what I like to call backing track rock, where you just have chords and you solo over it, which is I never wanted to do that. So I'm always just looking for ways to kind of tell a bit of a story with the harmony. So with tension and releasing the tension, oftentimes that sounds very dramatic, like a science fiction or a fantasy movie or something. But it's just because that music has a lot of tension in it, and ultimately, I like progressive music. I like big and dramatic harmony and different harmony. And I'm always trying to pull that into my melodies. It's hard, and sometimes you end up repeating yourself a bit, but gives a shit. It's part of the journey,
And how do you usually compose? Do you start? Do you get melodies when you are showering in the morning, or is it always with the guitar?
No.
Is it a chord progression? Do you have a method?
I attempt to play piano, so I write everything. I write everything on a piano.
Okay.
Yeah.
That
Which
might
is
be
a little
part
bit
of the secret.
Yeah. It's very dramatic, and because I don't have any technique on a piano, I'm forced to have very simple melodies.
Okay.
It's like my dad with a phone.
Okay. So now we know the secret. Just play the one-finger piano, and you will be.
That's right.
You will end up as good as Nick.
Do the 70-year-old man on an iPhone, and you'll be writing albums.
And how do you know that your song is done and it's ready to be recorded? Do you have a green light popping up in your head? It's okay. Now it's time to record it. You're done.
That's actually a very good question. I think in the beginning I didn't know, but now that I've done 6, 7 solo records, you just kind of have to. It's more so that the building is abandoned rather than it's just you just leave it. It's just done because you could just keep. I'll fix this. I'll do another solo. I'll make this section longer. The drums. So just when it feels right. There's no real way to know except you just kind of walk away. I guess
I think a famous songwriter said, "You never finish a song, you abandon it."
Exactly,
Maybe it's Bob Dylan or I don't know, someone like that, some unknown songwriter, right?
Yeah, I think so. And the problem is you always just want to do something else.
Yeah.
So you go, that's enough. Okay, next one. But to me, I just look at it like even if you're not going to use the song, it's when you're not that I'm strong, muscular or anything, but it's the whole thing where you bring the weight down. You got to bring it up. You got to do the whole thing, the whole process. So I find just finishing it, just going through that motion, developing that muscle, and developing the ear and the sort of secret sense on how to do that. I'm sure you know too.
Yeah.
You just do it.
Yeah.
You just try it, and arrangement becomes everything. It's okay. This song I want to try a different arrangement. I want to try. I'm doing these same things. I put the bridge there. You want to change it. So a lot of times it's how you arrange the song too. That's how you know it's done.
And do you need an outside pair of ears to tell you, okay, Nick, this is done. Let's move on to the next song, or you are always the ultimate last judge?
I try to write with the door closed as much as I can.
You lock yourself in.
Well, it's interesting because the music I write is so polarizing because it is guitar music, but there's not a lot of sometimes guitar in it.
Yeah.
So I try not to I just maybe my wife I show or just a couple really close friends, but even their opinions I kind of take them with a grain of salt because I know what I'm trying to do. It doesn't always come across. And I'm also kind of neurotic and insecure about all that, so I usually wait until it's finished.
Okay.
Yeah.
How
What
do
do you
you-
think? I did this,
Okay.
yeah.
How do you get usually your tone on when you record? Is that difficult? Because on young language, the sound of the guitar is really amazing throughout the whole album. So what's your secret?
I work with a really great engineer. I've been working with the same engineer for most of my career now. We usually source a couple nice amps. I have my signature guitar, which I pretty much just use one guitar for the record. And then I go in a room with the amps, and we just find sounds. And it's interesting that sometimes the guitar sound you get without the band kind of sounds great, but when you play with the band, all that information can be lost. So sometimes, you have to play with the track. Sometimes the tone by itself is kind of shit.
Yeah.
But it pokes through. So there's no real thing. I think it's depending on the music you're playing, depending on where your ears are, depending on where you're at. But usually it's just, as long as you have good gear, it should work.
Yeah.
In theory, good gear and rehearsed.
It sounds
hands.
easy, when you say it,
Hopefully, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I'm glad you like the sound.
So for you, it is guitar, cable, and amp. That's it.
That's it.
No secret pedals or stuff like that.
No, I think if we're recording, I've been getting a little bit more into using a Univibe or a little bit of a chorus or treble, but never any boost pedals really. I usually just try to get the amp pushing hard. That's where I get all the gain from.
Favorite amp?
I like some of the old Marshall stuff, Boogies, Orange. I used to use a Friedman, which was great. I like a little bit of everything.
Okay, tube amp anyway.
Yeah.
No modeling stuff, no digital plug-in or.
At home, I use. I don't want to wake the whole neighborhood up, so I use a Kemper. I've been using a Kemper at home for demos for forever.
Okay.
But everything's on record a tube amp. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Just it feels a little better.
Let's talk about your guitar. What was the process to come up with your signature model with Schecter?
Well, as you can tell, this is based off of a Les Paul.
Yeah,
No.
yeah. It looks familiar. I was trying to pinpoint the model name. Okay, now I see it. Yeah.
It's a Martin D35. No. Well, I played S-type guitars, we'll call them, forever.
Yeah.
Since the beginning. And Schecter kind of approached me maybe 8 years ago. And they kind of asked, what do you want? Mm-hmm. Because I was lucky enough at the time, the custom shop was sort of being rebooted, and they wanted someone to kind of, be the quote-unquote poster child for it. And I went to the custom shop, and I saw a Wenge neck, and it felt great. It looked awesome. And then we just kind of refined the features, like the neck profile I liked, high access, much wider radius. I like big, wide bends, kind of Yngwie bends, the big ones. And just a pretty simple body. Pickups, we made them in the custom shop. It's an ebony fingerboard. It was just, simple things like, for example, just getting a master tone and volume 5-way. I like this bridge a lot.
And you keep the bridge down to the table, no floating bridge for you, or is that just a guitar from a...
It kind of, this is just the one off the rack over there.
Okay.
Typically, not really. I mean, I used to have it a little bit more like Jeff Beck, where you could kind of wail on it a little bit, but for years I didn't use a bar. I just used my hand. I grabbed the bridge, and I started using a bar again, and so I'm kind of relearning what I like in the bridge. Okay. But everything I play stock, I don't change anything, because it was kind of built to be my kind of dream guitar. Mm-hmm. And then we did the Diamond Series model, which is the less expensive model.
So this is the US model, and there is a lower priced model, which I heard some very good comment on the low price guitar. Yeah?
Oh yeah, it seems to be doing quite well. So as long as I don't fuck it up, we're good. But ultimately it's a traditional type of guitar with some modern kind of appointments, and it just feels good. And the nice thing is this kind of raw neck. I don't know if you've had a chance to check it out. Mm-hmm. You get that nice hand, juice in there over time. It feels great.
Yeah. So and it looks great. Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah. This is one of the many colors we do. So.
Yeah. Very cool. We are here in the middle of a guitar show. Are you going to walk around and look at the nice boutique guitar builders around, or you're not allowed to watch anything else than the Schecter booth?
Yeah, I have to be faithful to the big S. Yeah. No, I'm going to walk around, of course. And I saw there's a company over there with I've seen them before, but their name always sticks out to me. They're called Relish.
Yeah,
So I'll-
Switzerland.
yeah, exactly. A local, a domestic brand. So I'm
Yes,
gonna go.
indeed.
It's just cool. I mean, I've never seen a show quite like this in a casino. So you can buy a $5,000 guitar, then go gamble it away.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing.
What a good concept, what a good idea, yeah. Or make some money out of the casino, go up one flight of stairs and,
There we
and spend
go.
all the guitar, all the money on the cool guitars. Eh,
That's perfect. That's
buy
perfect.
happiness.
Who said money can't buy happiness?
Exactly.
Yeah.
As a conclusion, what are the next projects you want to mention for the upcoming, the rest of the year? Are you going to be at NAMM? In June?
NAMM is kind of a low-key event this year. I've heard, so,
believe so, yeah.
I'm gonna skip it this year.
Okay.
Schecter's not really doing anything, so
Really?
I think they have like a little meeting room. But I also have another project where I sing. It's called Archival. And we just finished the second album, so if people want to check that out.
Okay.
And then I'm recording another album in the fall.
Okay.
And then I've got a couple other things I can't talk about just yet, but things are happening.
It won't get out of the internet, I swear.
Things are happening.
Okay.
Things are happening.
Okay, excellent. If we want to follow all your news, where do we go on the internet? Website?
Just Instagram,
Yeah.
Nick Johnston Music, where everything happens. That's the place. Anything of importance will be announced there.
Okay, excellent. Nick, thank you very much for your time. I hope next time we meet it will be in Paris in my showroom and we will do a proper guitar in hand interview. Deal?
That would be great.
Okay.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Thank you very much. Cheers. Bye-bye. For the price of a magazine, subscribe to The Guitar Channel to access the full videos.